trực thuộc Văn phòng 2 Viện Hóa đạo, Giáo hội Phật giáo Việt Nam Thống nhất Hải ngoại tại Hoa Kỳ, also known as the Unified Buddhist Church of America, welcomes you to College Night. I'm Yu Đức, and I will be the moderator for tonight. In the next hour, we will share experiences about college and answer any questions about preparing, applying, and attending colleges and universities. We will have a Q&A session. Please enter your questions in the Q&A tab. Following the Q&A are topics regarding how to start a SANGHA at your campus. Gia đình Phật tử invites you to the upcoming lễ. Sharing with you what's happening in 2003 and 2004, and provide information regarding the President's Award. We will end with a closing remark. First, we have Emily Nguyen. Emily is from Texas, majoring in chemistry and pre-med. She will share her experience in UT Austin. Emily, you have the floor.
Thank you, Judy. I'm just going to introduce myself a little bit more. I'm from Grand Prairie, Texas, but I attend school in Austin at UT Austin, and I'm a chemistry major on the pre-med track. I'm also minoring in a business and healthcare, and I'm doing a certificate in children's and society. And even though I'm on the chemistry track, I just wanted to add a minor so I can gain a more interdisciplinary perspective and see healthcare from like a different point of view through different classes like psychology, special education disorder classes, public health, global health, and etc. So for the process of applying to college, it can be a little bit intimidating and confusing. And so something that I recommend whenever you go into your senior year is during this process, I made like a Google sheet of like all the colleges that I applied to with like tuition, all the deadlines, the type of application the school uses. So different school uses different type of services. Like I know all Texas schools uses Apply Texas. There's also Coalition, which I'm not really familiar with, but a lot of out-of-state schools do use it, and then Common App. So whenever you're applying, just make sure that you know which service that your college is using. And then on the sheet, I also have like application fee, and if the school offers like fee waivers, sometimes you can qualify for fee waivers, and all that fee does add up. So check to make sure if you qualify and if you can get those fees out of the way. On the sheet, I also had like school scholarships and other important dates and information, just so that I have it all in one place and I can always refer back to it. And then in regards to SAT versus ACT, I know a lot of school accepts both, so I would just experiment and try out both and see which works best for you. That's what I did. And when I did that, I found that the SAT works best for me, and I scored a lot higher just because I was more familiar with the test. But for both tests, I know there is a fee waiver. For the SAT, I'm a little bit more familiar with it. The fee waiver includes like 2 free SAT tests, unlimited score reports that you can send to the school, waiver application fees, and then 2 chances to access answer services, which is really important during my SAT prep process, because through these services, once you like take the test, they'll give you your test back, and you can see like how you answered each question, why you got each question wrong, why the correct answer is the correct answer, and it's just a really good way to do some SAT prep. But if you're looking for more SAT prep resources, I would definitely look into the official College Board SAT study guide, because it comes straight from the company that makes the actual SAT, and so the practice is pretty accurate. And then Khan Academy has some really good videos that explains all the concepts pretty well. And another tip for SAT is some schools do super scoring, which I took advantage of. So what this basically means is, let's say you took the SAT a couple times, and the first time your reading score was a little bit lower, but your math score was pretty good. but the second time you took it, your reading score was higher than the first time, but your math score was lower than the first time. And so super scoring takes like the highest score of each section and combines it to have an overall super score that is the highest that you can submit to colleges. So if your school does accept this, I would definitely look into it and try to submit your super score instead of just one individual score. And for actual college, I have some general tips. I know picking classes can be a little bit overwhelming because it was for me. And so what I would first do is whenever you're first going into orientation and picking your class, search online to see if your school has like specific 4-year plans for your major and try to talk to your advisor so you can have a general idea throughout like the 4 years of what you need to take or what credits you already have that you don't have to retake. And then for pre-meds or pre-health, see what prereqs align with your major requirements and what doesn't, so that you can have a rough idea of like what you need to take over the next year and what else you need to take outside of your major to fulfill those prereqs for like graduate school. And another thing that my school offered was there was a Google Chrome extension called the UT Registration Plus. I'm not sure if all schools have it, but through this, whenever we enter the registrar and look for classes, it pulls up the past syllabus, the past grade distribution, the Rate My Professor for the professor, so that you can all access it and compare which professors and which class you want to take, how the class is organized. And I do recommend looking through the past syllabus just to see like, oh, if you think this class will work well for you based on how it's structured. And for Rate My Professor, I would use it with a grain of salt because some of the reviews are on the contrasting end of the spectrum. So they're either really, really good or really, really terrible. And some good habits to have during your college years is just try to time manage really well. For me, I use a Google Calendar to plan out my school year with all my classes, all the meetings, all like special events that I had, so that every week, going into the week, I knew like how my schedule was going to look like and when I had free time. And from there, I would definitely try to have a balance with your schoolwork and your social life. Make time to make new friends, exercise, or try to do hobbies and join clubs that you haven't tried before. And I'm going to wrap things up so that the next person can share. But if anyone has any specific questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, Emily. That was very informative, and have fun in Austin. Now, we do have a question and answer box, so if you have any questions, go ahead and put it in there. Next, we have Penny Doan from Oklahoma. She's attending medical school and will be sharing both her college and medical school experience.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Do. So Penny was a nickname actually. So I guess you guys already know me that very close. Then you know I'm Penny, but my professional name will be Do. So there you go. I am currently a second year medical student at University of Oklahoma. So I'm gonna, since Emily touched a lot about the process of getting into college already, I think I might give a little bit more focus on the extracurricular activities that you can do during college year. So as you guys know, I started out as a pre-med, so my major was biomedical sciences. I also double major in biology. I also have a minor in interpersonal communication, which is really off from my major, but it's helped me to communicate better with my patient in the future, which is why I choose that. I started out in college at University of Central Oklahoma, which is also in Oklahoma. It's a smaller university in Oklahoma. I took the ACT, so I'm not very familiar with the SAT, and I took that for a while ago, and I don't think I can give you much information about the ACT. now that there's a lot of things that changes. So during the college, what I did was before I get into college, I went on to my school website and search on any program that I can participate prior to attending college. So that get me a foot in the door for my college. So I got into a research program, which most school offer for freshmen. And it's also paid, so you also get your summer job taken care of. And that's also really good for your resume in the future. And then that's get you started with research if you're interested in the future.
For now, since they're talking.
And then, so after research, you also will probably know a little bit about scholarship. So scholarship, either you will get it when you apply. So a lot of time it would be academically related or leadership related. In the case that you don't get a full ride scholarship for all your 4 years, which I fortunately was able to get for my scholarship, then you have to apply your scholarship annually. So keep going back on the school website, look out for any scholarship that you can get, because that will look really good for your resume, that show the effort that you put during school. And also a lot of time, the leadership scholarships are the most helpful, because that just show how active you are during the school, and that's also get your tuition cover. For leadership wise, I talk a lot about that, but you probably only need like 1 to 2 leadership positions throughout your 4 years of college, but you must show commitment in that club. So, for example, if you choose like a biology club, then you should keep being a member of that club and then move up the high leadership hierarchy ladders throughout all your 4 years. And that will help you with whatever future you get, and then as well as getting you into an internship, depending on your major and your interest. Let me see. So for picking your class in college, first year, I kind of try my luck with rate my professors, but like Emily said, it's kind of like 50-50. You don't really know. So just kind of draw your luck on your first year. But once you get into the university, there will be rumors about which professor to take. So you don't have to worry about picking your professors onward from there, because you definitely will know which professor you need to pick. And I recommend you, I guess, not go on Rate My Professor, because that's kind of waste your time, because people are just gonna feel like you're rating something 50 and 50, so I'm not that reliable. So don't waste your time like I did on Rate My Professor. Just a tip. And then talk to your advisors. So talk to them so that you have a plan for all of your classes that you want to take. If you're very convinced with your major, like Emily or I, for example, like we're very convinced that we're going to go on a pre-med track, then we can start taking classes with your major and then your basic courses at the same time, so that when you're in your 4th year, you don't have that much of a heavy load for your major. If you don't know or not very committed to your major yet, then start with like basic courses so that you get taken care of for the rest of the year. And don't take whatever the advisor said for a grain of salt. So basically, don't just listen to whatever the advisor said. Do your research as well, because sometimes the advisor that you take is different from your career advisor. So when your advisor, your course advisor, might not know what your career might look like until you get to probably 2nd or 3rd year of college, then you can talk to your career advisor. Then those people will be the one that actually understand where you stand and how to help you better. So don't be offended if your advisor, your freshman advisor, cannot help you that much or don't really understand where you're going. And I have several people said that the advisor were really mean and not really helpful. So just take that as an advisor, and they do not determine your ability to succeed in college or in your career. So just do your best and kind of keep track of what you're doing and don't get lost along the way with all the fun stuff in college. And that is it.
Thanks, Stu. That was very informative, and thank you for coming. Next, we have Judy Tran. She is a and she's from Colorado, and her postgrad program is in public health. Please welcome Judy.
All right, hi everyone. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah,
Great,
I am.
awesome. Yeah, really good to see everyone here. Good to see Emily and Doan again since the last time we met at the Nguyen. I appreciate everyone else for coming to this college night event as well. Yeah, I'm going to share my experiences and tips and advice as well. I took the ACT as well, and ACT usually I recommend everyone to attend to extra teachings, extra sessions that your school provides. I think those getting really good practice will help you prepare, especially with the endurance and then the pacing, along with familiarizing what kind of questions they're going to ask and strategizing kind of how you want to take the ACT. And it consists of multiple choices when I took it. And it's totally okay to take it more than one time. The universities will pick one of your top scores. And sometimes they could even see multiple scores that you have, and they'll pick on the top scores on each section. I've also taken the SAT, which I thought that I wanted to try it out, even though I didn't really need to. It's just another option to see what school likes or accept a particular score to admit students. So SAT, I've only taken it once, but ACT, honestly, I've taken it 3 times, and then they pick out the top score. So yeah, and I went to the University of Colorado, Denver. I majored in biology and minored in psychology. I came in thinking, wanting to become a K-pop star, fun fact, rather than this whole healthcare route. And it's totally okay if you're wanting to do a lot of different careers, and it's really best to experience these areas. So I found out that when it comes to music or performance or entertainment, I think of it as this is part of my hobby, and this is part of my experience, and it could be a volunteering experience, especially with Yarumfakdu. Let's say you choreograph dances, you direct or you run singing and get like plays. That's a really good skill to have as part of your leadership. And so applying those skills into a nonprofit organization, showing that you have leadership is a pretty good example too. Another part of leadership experience is joining clubs. Some institutions look into well-roundedness, and they look into if students are involved in the diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so other skills, as in if you like to lead a team, you can attend to AAPI clubs. I was a part of ASA, BSA, KSA. So for those of you who don't know those organizations, it's based on a student body or student-run organization at the university. And so given my experience as part of leadership, I ran Asian Student Association and Council of Asian Student Leaders. So when you do open up a club or continuing on the next generation of running a club, based on the bylaws, you can follow that traditionally. At the same time, you can evaluate on how the previous executive board had execute these meetings along with community service or volunteering opportunities provided within these student orgs, you can come up with different events for the students. And so, so I recommend when it comes to leadership, think about your skills and how you can apply it to a particular program. So I've mentioned you can do that as part of your đơn so your gia đình Phật tử, or you can also do it at your university. You could do it outside of these areas too. You can join committees as well. I was a part of the Colorado Emerging Leaders Program for Asian professionals, and you can bring on mentorship experience too. And let's see, what else with extracurricular? Okay. Yeah, so think about your purpose as of what you want to gain out of your experience to place it out on your table. And when it comes to like interviews, job interviews, or even grad school interviews, you can provide some examples of applicable skills that you think may fit to the program. And so, okay, so coming in first year, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do mental health and well-being. And so I wanted to apply psychosocial psychotherapy interventions with public health backgrounds when it comes to doing research work or seeing patients. And so I had that mindset throughout undergrad, and I was a pre-med, and up until I graduated and decided to apply for a graduate program at the University of Colorado Anschutz Medical Campus. And I aspire to be a clinical psychologist, so I'm currently aiming for my PhD. And so given that these extracurriculars are helpful to show these institutions that, okay, you have one, leadership experiences, two, you have mentorship experiences, you know how to work with people, with a team, with a group, and you get to learn a lot from those experiences as well when it comes to also internship. I recommend looking into internship experiences to get exposure to the field. And with internship, it could be paid or non-paid. And with internships, you can do research work. So for those of you who are interested in being a part of and being involved in healthcare research work, it's good too. And so look into your universities to see if there are research programs. Some research programs provide a stipend, so it could be like a year-long stipend that can cover for your application fees, along with application fees. Oh yeah, I think I said that, and other type of resources too. So these research programs and internship programs can offer resources such as resume, cover letter, because they would bring in expertise, and you can sign up for sessions for them to look over at these two. Application, when you apply for grad school, they can look over at that. And all right, so that was a whole vent of extracurriculars and opportunities that you can get into. So these type of things, it varies by what program you apply to. And so if you're interested in like business or law or engineering or anything like that, it will be different. So I'll just speak more on my experiences into getting to the grad school. And yeah, and which classes? Let's see. I recommend if you have friends who are upperclassmen, you can ask them for their experience, ask them how their professor is like. I think it's a growth mindset and a learning curve to know what kind of a professor you want. Everyone has different teaching style, and your study habits are prone to adjust. So it varies by classes, and so ask the upperclassmen about picking classes, how to arrange them, and ask them your professor's personality, how do they teach. Look at the syllabus too ahead of time, and ask them just any questions about the structure of the curriculum, basically, of the class. And I recommend having a mentor. Seek for a mentor to help you navigate through this college experience. Someone who's related, who you're interested in a similar career path. And let's see, I don't really rely on Rate My Professor either. I don't really believe on the statistics behind that. I kind of went beyond actually emailing and outreaching the professors myself, just to do like an informative interview. So I asked them about the course and how they teach. And so I would do the same when anyone applied to the graduate schools. Let's see, what else am I missing? Okay, yeah. When it comes to the application process to grad school, it's a little bit more different. There's essays, there's interviews, there's the MCAT, GRE, and so same thing with the entrance exam to grad school. The MCAT, GRE, LSAT, and anything else. You would need to have a lot of practice, and for courses, it's up to you if you want to spend like over $1,000 trying to take the course. For me, with the MCAT, I studied a lot for it, and with the MCAT experience, I'm sure Doan can talk a little, have experiences too with the MCAT, but it's like a 6 to 7, however long hour exam. With different sessions. So I recommend a lot of practice, and an important skill to have is time management and organization. And so I've done the Excel spreadsheet as well on how you plan on studying, how you do school search, along with like a course plan as well. And I think time management and organization would be best skills for you to navigate through this experience. And most importantly, take self-care too. It's a really hard journey, especially in rigorous science programs, along with anything else too. And so I make sure you balance your mental health and your studies, work, your extracurriculars, your family, and anything else that you're having to go through. And so, yeah, I think if you're at a position where you don't have a direction to go to, it's totally okay to take your time, find a career path that you do want to experience and do want to enjoy. So if I have students who say they want to do 3 different careers, and I say find someone to shadow them for a month or so, based on your time, to see if that type of work style is what you want to do. I think I might go over my time already. I don't want to take up too much time, but if y'all have any questions, just feel free to shoot a message in the chat here. And I can also put my email address onto this chat if anybody want to reach out to me directly about the college experience and graduate experience as well. yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Judy. We love your performances and thank you for sharing your experience. Next, we want to welcome Van Jan from Texas. He has a bachelor in computer science and a master in business administration. He missed coming to our Ai Dục Lập Uyển camp, but he is from Gia đình Phật tử, Linh Sơn. Please welcome Van Jan.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Just want to give y'all a little bit of a heads up. I joined a little bit last minute to help out here, so I'm going to try my best to go ahead and copy the structure that y'all have. First of all, for the SAT, my recommendation is to just go ahead and take a test prep service. I know a lot of people were talking about whether or not to shell out money to take a test prep service. I think especially whenever you're in high school, you probably don't really have a structured routine of how to organize your time. If you think you're able to do that, then I guess you can go ahead and structure your time and be disciplined about taking sections and being able to analyze what questions you did wrong. But my recommendation is just take a course. These people have trained lots of people to get really good scores, so just go ahead and do that. They know the structure, they know the tips and tricks, right? And yeah, that would be my recommendation for the SAT. For college, I think my recommendation is a little bit different here. I went into college wanting to follow my dad's footsteps and be a pre-med student. I was thinking of going into medicine, and I quickly realized that really wasn't a field for me. And I went into computer science, right? So I always had a love of computers. I would say that for your first year, don't take classes that are too field specific unless you are absolutely certain that's what you want to do. Take a bunch of courses to explore what you want. I know a lot of people who, said to themselves, for my science elective, I'm going to go ahead and take biology, even though I think, geology or something else is more interesting to me, right? Just go ahead and take classes that you think are interesting, and I think that that's going to lead you down to the path of a career that suits you best, right? Yeah, so you should be involved at school. Leadership organizations are really good. So I was part of a service fraternity. It's good to show that not only are you focused on just your career, but you're able to interact with the community as well. I think that's something that both undergrad and grad schools really look for. Another recommendation that I would have is to really get to know your professors. And if you're in high school, get to talking to your teachers and be very social with them. For both undergrad and grad school, they're going to ask for a lot of letters of recommendation. I would really recommend getting to know one teacher really, really well, and then the rest, they should just know what you're really up to and that you're competent, and they'll be able to write a good letter of recommendation. I didn't really take the ACT. I do know that if you're looking for more of a math-focused field, I think that people would more likely like you to take the SAT, as it is more math-focused, and then probably add on a subject test. I think a lot of engineering and math fields would be really happy to know that you have a good baseline math skill as well as some level of competency in calculus. Yeah. For grad school, I think for business school is a little bit different. It's a little bit more, they look for a lot more soft skills. They interview you a lot more. And for the most part, they are looking for you already having your foot in the door. So who do you already know? Do you already know one of the professors? Has a professor spoken about you? In my case, I already went to SMU and I took some business courses as well. And I had spoken to some professors and they gave me their letters of recommendation. Yeah. Well, I know mine was a little bit more unstructured. I'll go ahead and drop my email in the chat. If any of you want to reach out or need some guidance, I'm more than happy to help.
Thanks, Van. Thanks for the tip. And by the way, what's his name from Steve Jobs? One of his course that he took was in calligraphy. So yes, he did expand more than his subject that he wanted to study. So I have an email from Lena, who can't be here, but we did invite her. She's from Colorado. And so she texted me something to provide to you. So her answer to which classes to take. She is a pre-law, so honestly recommend not taking pre-law classes because I have heard that law school is going to teach you the stuff anyways. So regardless, they would want you to teach you the information their own way. She believed that philosophy is a better route. Philosophy is a very very good major because it makes you think like a lawyer. Classes don't always have to be about law, but really it teaches you how to think and like a lawyer and read like one. Her answers to joining clubs, very good at diversifying your time and showing on your resume that you are about being involved in the university. It's a great way to find friends and broaden your experience during college. And what about volunteers? She says a lot would come, a lot of it would come from clubs and even DOA. So volunteering is a great way to show gratitude and service to your community. That is really good. She also had a couple of last minute things to relay. I would also tell them to leave their options open and not 100% put themselves on one path and closing other possible opportunities. Since life is a changing current, you don't know where they'll lead. So that's really great from Lena. And so next is the Q&A session. I want to leave it open for everybody. So if you have a question, you could share it by just shout out, or if you want to, you can type in here. Does anybody have questions for our four panelists? Okay, well, think about it. We can have other formal ways of asking the questions. We have next is information, some topics that we wanted to provide to you this evening as well. Our next speaker is anh Trung and chị Vân. They will they will talk about how to start a SANGHA on campus. You have the floor, anh Trung and chị Vân.
Hello anh chị, hello các em. So I wasn't really in a university, or I don't have really much experience in starting a club, but I did find some information on how and guides from CU Denver, not Denver, but Boulder, where Judy is attending right now. So I'm going to share that information and then we can go over. Let's see. Share screen. Let's see. Sorry. Give me like a minute here. So while I'm looking for my page, I think I lost it somewhere. Can you share? I know Judy pretty well, so she's in VSA, right, or ASA?
Oh, back in undergrad, I was in VSA and ASA.
And many other clubs, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. How about everybody else? Like what clubs, what social club, what groups do you guys are in? And how did you like it?
I am also in VSA right now, and then I'm also in Texas THIEN and the Longhorn Swim Club.
Oh, nice. So how did you like it?
I think clubs is a really good way to like meet new people, especially since everyone going into college is like starting fresh, you know. It's a new group of people. Everyone's trying to figure out their way and discover their new interests. So it's a great way to like find new interests and meet new people.
Oh, that's great to hear. So I was unfortunate to not wasn't be able to be part of any groups or club, but I am in more like communities groups, like club, like social club, hiking club, group, or off-road group, martial art group, like anything that you can think of. I'm like part of it in here in Denver. I was also part of the community board as a VP internal affair for the Vietnamese community here, and I'm also in the lion dance group. So all kind of groups. So yeah, so it's kind of fun to be socialized, to meet people, and that way you get new ideas from people, um, and you can apply that ideas, leadership into young tử or part of your life, right? Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, so this is for CU Boulder, but I'm guessing it's going to be similar to other universities or school, right? So the first thing to start I mean, we can talk on the benefit of starting a SANGHA group. SANGHA là tiếng Việt Nam là gì hả chị?
Giống như là start a cái nơi mà mình Sangha là cái gì quý anh chị?
Là
Bạn
một
giúp
cái
quán sai tiếng Dân Sangha.
một
cái
cái
chùa,
nhóm và
cái
một
nhóm.
cái hội mà mình sống theo cái tinh thần của Phật tử đạo Pháp, phải không?
Dạ.
Mình có thể
So
gọi là
that-
một tông
tu
Phật tử.
học, cái nơi tu học.
Dạ. Thì cái đó cũng giống như cái châm ngôn của dòng tử là góp phần xây dựng xã hội theo tinh thần đạo Pháp. So that's it. Starting a group in a university that is related to dòng tử or đạo Phật is part of it that we can apply teachings from dòng tử and try to help people or get people to know more about dòng tử or đạo Phật, right? So in order to start a group or a club, we need to find out, if it's already exists or there's some other similar to what we want to start. So I'm guessing not, because not many clubs or group that is Yamato based, right? So you can go and on their website and check to see if this exists already. If not, then I think you have to submit a form. So this is a benefit, but I mean, we already know, we already went over a little bit. And the directory of like how many groups are there, and if it's similar to us, the steps. So usually submit a form, right? And then the board or the school administrators, they might go over and see if it's okay, or if it's like what meet their requirements, so we can start one. And you can submit, and then they'll come back with a decision when now for this case, see your border in 1 to 3 days. Okay, and then they have guidance, they have training on how to run a club, on how to lead a club and like what else, whatever you need to run a successful club, basically, and how to get grant money or if it's available, or how to get help on if you need help anything that is related to the school or club. Okay. Let's see. I think that's the steps. It's pretty easy. Just go to your university personnel or administrator and ask. You can go straight to the office and ask, like, hey, I want to start a club that is based on the youth group that I'm attending, and I want to share that knowledge to the people. Sometimes we say Buddhist group or youth group, so it's kind of a little bit religious space. So mình muốn nói là cái này là giống như là mindfulness to help people, decompress, de-stress after a long day of study, after a semester, after finals. Okay, so we can. Usually we have to come up with a name for the club and the purpose. We have to write that down and on how we can help better the life of the student there to submit in. So those are the things we can state in the statement. For the name, so thường we talk about mindfulness. People think of thầy Thích Nhất Hạnh đó. Thì nếu mình dùng cái từ mindfulness in the name, so they know what it is. So thầy Thích Nhất Hạnh is popular for like meditation on how to decompress your mind, how to clear your mind. So if it's related to thầy, we piggyback right on his ideas, right? So people know what it is, so we don't have to explain much when they joining. So that's one of the way we can get the name out there. And one of the main goal that Judy talked about, on why we want to start a club, a SANGHA club, is to retain membership. So basically, it's been happening for a while that once you guys go to college, or most people go to college at that age, 17, 18, they go to a university college and they join like VSA, ASA, or any other clubs, and then they might forget about Young Club, right? I mean, most of the time it is like that. It's kind of sad, but it's true. But so start a SANGHA club based on Young ideology. It's a way that we can keep them from coming back. I mean, keep them from coming back, right? To come back, I mean, to Young, or they can share that knowledge with other people and can try to get other people to join us as well. So that's one of the main goals. So hopefully today we are gonna brainstorm ideas and a way or come up with a name that we can use that and then try to start something that really try to grow Young basically. All right. I think that's what I have for right now. I don't know if chị Vân has anything.
Yes, Vân đây. Vân, hello anh chị. Sorry là Vân không có video cam tại vì hiện giờ là Vân đang có cái facial treatment with the chemical peels, and usually you really don't want to see my skin right now. Anh Trung vừa nói cho Vân nói chuyện vừa both tiếng Việt và vừa tiếng Mỹ nha. Anh Trung into a great details into how to start or to form a club. So vâng, ví dụ, once we form the club, then what are we going to do about it? Or what is going to happen during the club, or how to maintain or to expand the club? Vân sẽ Vân hôm nay Vân sẽ nói về cái topic là how to fund a meal. Thật sự ra thì Vân chưa có take một cái leadership role nào into any club, nhưng mà hôm nay Vân có thể chia sẻ về cái my past experience and then the current experience là hiện giờ gia đình Vân đang làm, và cái third nữa là Vân sẽ hope đó là anh chị Vân sẽ after Vân share cái past and current experience thì Vân hope anh chị sẽ có cũng như là suggest more ideas into how to fund a meal. Nói về cái past experience là Vân remember when I was in the medical students thì lúc đó thật sự ra rất là busy, rất là bận rộn. Nhưng mà Vân, nếu mà cái vivid mà impression của Vân đó là khi đó là Vân join vô là tại vì Vân thấy có những cái ở những cái trường Vân học á là có những cái bulletin board là nói là bulletin board post lên là hôm đó có cái meeting with specific topic mà cũng mention nữa free meal and drink for students. Now talking of students with free meal and drink, that's a big deal for us back then. Thì Vân nghĩ á, không phải là cái meal nó really important nhưng mà nó somehow nó convey được cái ideas là people who do care. Với lại at the same time Vân nghĩ cái đó là really good idea to attract students. Not only that they learn something new, but at the same time it's give them a chance to have a relaxed time as well. And at the same time, they don't need to go anywhere out to look for food. So that's first. Cái đó là rồi, còn cái past experience nữa khi đó là khi lúc mà trong nhà trường, rồi khi mà Vân đi cái clinical rotation in hospitals or even in some private office thì lúc đó là có những cái người kêu là pharmaceutical rep. That time the food is really good. Lúc đó là mình cũng đã có okay rồi, nhưng mà tới mà nghe nói mà drug rep mà visit us like it's kind of it's the feeling is like Friday. Energy goes up tại vì những cái lúc đó là những cái thường pharmaceutical rep đó đãi học sinh, ngay cả học sinh đi mà những mà học sinh lúc đó là mình medical student attend đó, food rất là good. Thì Vân nghĩ cái đó là nó stay in our minds for a really long time, even now là Vân miss it. Rồi bây giờ nói về current experience á, là lúc đó là Vân chỉ là một cái member go into a certain meeting for a certain club. Thì lúc đó Vân lúc đó là cái focus của Vân, một trong những cái mà club mà Vân thường đi đó là kêu là American Medical Association. That's one that Vân went most often. Rồi còn cái current experience á, là Vân muốn nói lên để Vân chia sẻ, thì Vân hy vọng là cái experience này mà mình có thể apply cho cái club của mình trong tương lai. Tức nghĩa là hiện giờ gia đình Vân với lại những người bạn bè quen với lại gia đình Vân á, là khi mà mỗi lần mình về Việt Nam á, mình lại một cái làng hay là một cái xã mà cái nơi của mình cư trú giống như là cái quê hương của mình đó, cái làng nơi của mình sinh sống ra đó, mà không cần phải cái làng đó đâu, mình thấy cái làng nào mà cái làng nào đó mà có cần sự giúp đỡ đó, mình lại ngay chân chỗ cái làng đó, mình nói chết là mình nói lại những cái người trong cái ủy ban của cái xã đó hay là cái làng đó là cho mình những cái hộ dân mà nghèo nhất trong cái làng đó hoặc cái xã đó, rồi mình đưa cho những cái người làm việc cái đó là những cái ticket là ngày giờ and date, cái ngày nào đó thì nếu mà những cái người đó có thể họp mặt ở chỗ nào đó thì lúc đó là mình có thể là phân phát ra giống như là gạo nè, rồi nước mắm, rồi đường. Thật sự ra nó không có nhiều, nhưng mà nó nói lên được là những cái người mà khi mà người ta nhận được, người ta cũng happy, là tại vì người ta nghĩ là cũng có một cái người nào đó cũng care cho mình. Thì cái đó là gia đình Vân với lại những người bạn với lại những người bạn ở bên đây hoặc là ở bên Việt Nam thì cũng đã từng làm bao nhiêu năm nay rồi, thì Vân thấy cái đó là really meaningful. Rồi nếu mà Vân nghĩ dùng cái đó để mà áp dụng vô trong cái cho club thì Vân không biết là tùy theo những em sau này đi học đó, đi lên university hoặc là college đó, mình không biết là các em đi học trường nào hoặc là university nào, nơi đâu, thành phố nào và tiểu bang nào. Mà Vân nghĩ nếu mà trước tiên hết mà thường mà các em đi học như vậy đó, mà Vân nghĩ đó là cái club này cũng như là mindfulness đó, thì cái đó là very new club. Thành ra mình mà các em lại thường năm đầu đó là thường take cái là cứ là full time Vân không biết là thời gian của các em như thế nào và cái adaptation to cái new environment, cái university như thế nào. Nhưng mà Vân muốn nói là khi mà mình đã club rồi thì ít nhất trong 1 năm đó, giống như lúc trước đó chị Diệu Đức có gợi ý đó, là ít nhất mình có phải là mình provide cái 3 meals per year cho cái club mà mỗi lần club họp mặt đó. Vân không biết là 3 cái meal trong 1 năm như vậy có ít hay là có nhiều lắm không, thì Vân để cái đó là để cho các em sinh viên tùy theo cái nơi mà mình học, cái nhà trường mình đang học, với lại tùy theo cái study load của các em nữa. Mình cũng không có muốn overwhelm them, tại vì cái đó là first of all là khi mà đã vô học cái đó rồi thì cái study, cái major của mình là take the priority. Còn nếu mà nói về how to fund the meal đó thì Vân cũng nghĩ là mình cũng nên áp dụng khi mà mình muốn một cái mình muốn cái club đó, mình muốn cái meeting của cái club đó ngày nào thì mình cũng nên cho những em học sinh khác cho biết là ngày giờ địa điểm như thế nào, và hy vọng đó thì các em có thể nắm được bao nhiêu cái number của cái members đó, với how many members attend cái meeting đó, để mà mình có thể prepare, để mà thứ nhất là miền có thể hỗ trợ cái free meal cho những cái attendance của các em đó, mà đồng thời nếu mà mình có thể go một cái further nữa là mình có thể help những các em đó về marketing skill. Marketing skill thì sao ở đây? Sao có thể các em đó có thể đi những cái nhà hàng gần ở đó mà vận động mình có thể work hand in hand, hoặc là mình có thể encourage những cái nhà hàng đó. Thứ nhất là vừa phải nói là sao hả, cho những cái nhà hàng đó mình đưa những cái tên tuổi của cái nhà hàng đó vô trong cái club để cho các em cũng biết. Thứ nhất là có lợi, vừa có lợi cho nhà hàng mà cũng vừa có lợi cho cái club của mình luôn. Thì chị Diệu Đức thấy sao chị Diệu Đức? Rồi mình có rồi mình có thể, thứ nhất là mình cũng có thể encourage các em đó là khi mà giống như là Boy Scout mình bán những cái gì. Vân còn nhớ high school mà Vân join cái tennis club đó là mình phải bán kẹo để mà mình có một cái fund. Rồi những cái người mà mạnh thường quân đó, nếu mình bán được bao nhiêu đó người ta sẽ match vô. Giả tỷ Vân ví dụ đi, Vân bán được $100 đi, thì cái một mạnh thường quân nào đó match $100 nữa, là tức nghĩa là thay vì Vân chỉ có $100 mà bây giờ Vân có $200 đại khái gì đó. Rồi nếu mà lúc đó mà miền có cái quỹ của miền mà nếu mà có rộng rãi hơn thì Vân hy vọng thì miền cũng hỗ trợ cho từng cái đơn vị đó, của từng cái university đó. Với lại Vân phải nhớ thứ hai nữa là nếu mà có những cái đơn vị gia đình Phật tử mà gần đó thì Vân cũng hy vọng là các em cũng làm sao để facilitate mà associate với lại những cái đơn vị đó, mà để coi có đơn vị đó có thể giúp được các em có cái gì không nhiều thì cũng ít thì cũng ok. What else?
Thanks, Stephen.
And at the same time, rồi Vân nghĩ là at the same time á, là mình cũng work with lại những cái nhà hàng để cho nhà hàng cho mình cái gift card, hoặc là mình có thể giống như là discounted price, hay là đại khái là những cái đó. There's quite a many ways to do it, but once we have the club going, I think there will be more ideas come in. And Vân nghĩ là nếu mà cái fund mà để cho các em mà có cái meals, at least 3 meals a year đó, thì Vân nghĩ cái đó nó không có khó đâu. Dạ xin hết.
Thanks. Thanks, Anh Trung, and thanks, Jivan. So I wanted to go ahead and read this, how to start a SANGHA. So when we start a club, you want to give it a kind of a very good name, very secular name. So we were thinking of mindfulness. And for a club to begin, oftentimes if you have a professor that sponsor it, the school will most likely approve it, okay? And once you find a professor to sponsor it, you can register it with a college, and you can advertise the the meetings when you have it, and ask the school for a meeting place. And so you prepare for a meeting, and in this meeting, you want to have like a mindfulness meditation. You have a fellowship with your fellow, with your students, with your colleagues. And this fellowship includes, having a meal and playing a game. And so, Yading Fatu, we wanted to support you in this endeavor. And we wanted to say that we will support with, if you have to pay for like registration with college, sometimes you had to pay a certain amount of money, then Yading Fatu will help you with this. And or if you want to provide a meal for your colleagues for your meeting, Min will help you with it as well. So that's what we want to let you know, okay, that we're here to support you, and we're very encouraging and very supportive about having bringing mindfulness into your college and bringing Yading Fatu, the meaningful ways of or teaching of Buddhism into your university if possible. And I mean, do it gradually. Do it first with mindfulness first. But yes, thank you, Anh Trung, and thank you, Chị Vân. And we also wanted to say that once you started, and even if you do it informally, when we have Ayuk Luk Uyên in 2025, we would like to extend the invitation Ayuk Luk Uyên to your colleagues. And so that way we have good leadership that would come into our camps. Okay. Next, we wanted to share with you some upcoming lễ that is that Yading Fatu is in tune with. So Lễ Vu Lan right now is the season of Lễ Vu Lan. That's for our respecting our parents and our ancestor. So if you can, go back to your đơn vị and go to chùa and attend Lễ Vu Lan. And in October, we will have Ngày Truyền thống. It is the day that we commemorate the beginning of Yading Fatu. And we will give you the history of it when you, it will be online, but for live, it will be Yading Fatu. Minh Đức in Oklahoma will host this Ngày Truyền thống, and we will have it online as well. And we will go through some history and some major, prominent leaders of Yading Fatu, so that you kind of know a little bit about what's going on. Right. So next we have Anh Tuấn. He will quickly go through with you what's going on in 2003 and 2023 and 2024. So you have the floor, Anh Tuấn.
All right, hello everyone. So Nguyen supposed to talk about this, but she's still at work late tonight. So she just asked me to talk about it. So okay, so we as a regional we have a meeting every Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month at 9 p.m. Central time. So if you have time, or on behalf of chị trưởng ban, I also invite you to join the meeting every Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month at 9 p.m. Central time. So during the last meeting, we talk about the activity or the big event, for next 2 years, in 2023 and 2024. So the first thing in 2023, we plan to have trại họp bản. First thing is trại họp bản, mean I would say like a gathering camp. At first, we talk about for trại họp bản to be at chùa Phật Pháp in Clearwater, Florida. So why chùa Phật Pháp in Florida? I think chùa Phật Pháp will create and start gia đình Phật tử plan for next year 2023. So we want to take that opportunity, to everyone come down to chùa Phật Pháp to celebrate with gia đình Phật tử chùa Phật Pháp, and then we spend some time just to have fun, right? Chị Du Đức, we know class, no learning, no testing, right?
Right.
So just have fun, just have fun, and so maybe to have some fun, some good time together, I think.
Orlando, go to Disneyland, Disney World.
Maybe cruise. Okay, so that is going to be happen in 2023, and then we also have Đại hội huynh trưởng toàn quốc. So I in English I say that will be like national leadership conference.
Yeah.
Okay, something like that. So Đại hội huynh trưởng toàn quốc is going to happen at chùa Liên Hoa in Houston, Texas, in August 2023. And I believe anh Trúc Bảo will find out exactly the date that conference of that conference. I believe that will be the first week of August, first week or second week of August. I believe so. We at this point, at this moment, we don't know the exact date yet, but we will find out soon. So
2024.
No, that's 2023, right?
Right.
So so in 2023 we have two big events. One is Đại hội huynh trưởng toàn quốc, and one is trại họp bản. So I think during the meeting we just talked about whether to have two events at once. Yeah, but that's something that we need to discuss more, I think. So, but there in 2023, there will be two big events. So, just think about it and save your time. Come up with your schedule, something. So if you can join, join us. That would be fun. And especially during Đại hội huynh trưởng toàn quốc, we are going to elect the new council, right? New members for the council.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's all for 2023. We have two big events: Đại hội huynh trưởng toàn quốc và trại họp bản. And so let's move on to 2024. We will have trại huấn luyện Anoma Nilin Tuyết Sơn. So this camp is actually for các em Phật tử ở ngành thiếu, là từ 13 đến 17 tuổi. Đó, thì ở các đơn vị, nếu mà có các em trong cái khoảng tuổi ngành thiếu 13 đến 17 đó, thì nên khuyến khích các em, cho các em đi đến dự trại Anoma Nilin Tuyết Sơn, sẽ do gia đình Phật tử Minh Đức sponsor. Thì thời điểm thì chắc cũng phải vào summer time, maybe could be maybe in June or July, so it just depends on the weather. But June may be the best time. Because Oklahoma, July and August is kind of temperature is hot, the weather is very extreme. So let's see. So I think that's all we have. That two big event in 2023 and 2024. So just save some time, plan ahead, and just join those three camp. If you can at all.
Thank you, Anh Tuấn, for sharing what's happening in 2023 and 2024. Now, you understand that Anamani Lin Tuyết Sơn, the Ayuk Lộc Uyển graduates, will be running these camps. And the rest of us, Dong Min, we will guide and support you. And this is why we're having Jung here, because he's very good at the hoạt động thanh niên. So he will help us plan for Ayuk Lộc Uyển, especially those that are helping with like trò chơi nhỏ and trò chơi lớn. Okay. So next topic is Anh Hưng will talk about the President's Award. It's important for your resume, so please welcome Anh Hưng.
Hi. So about the PVSA, or the acronym for the President's Volunteer Service Award, it started in 2003 by the President's Council on Service and Civic Participation. So they started the award to recognize the important role of volunteers in America and how it contributes to our national identity. It honors individuals who positively impact our community, and how it can inspire other people to take action. The PVSA has been under each and every administration since 2003. I think that was after the President Reagan. So it honors the volunteers who use their time and talents to volunteer and to help our nation. In order to have this PVSA, you have to be a certifying organization. And in order to be a certifying organization, you have to go through a process to be certified, to be given an authority to give out the PVSA to volunteers. And the Buddhist Youth Organization, the Gia đình Phật tử, our Gia đình Phật tử is one of such certifying organization. So what it does is that we verify and certify that a volunteer has met the requirements to receive a PVSA within the 12-month period is specified by us. So as far as how it looks like this. So you can have a medallion, or you can have a pin, and you also have, it's kind of difficult to see from this, but there's a certificate with your name, and then there's also a letter signed by the president. When I say president, it doesn't mean Chị Diệu Đức is the president of the United States. So it's something that comes in handy if you are already volunteering. So if that's already the case, you don't need to do anything extra. But this would help you, like Chị Diệu Đức was referring to, it would help you on your application to grad school, application to college, application to your jobs, application to even when you start anything is going to be on your resume. So that's something that I would recommend. In order to be eligible, first you have to be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, which I'm sure all of you are. You have to be at least 5 years old, which is true for all of our Doan Shin. All of our youth members, we start at 7, so that we should qualify and has to have complete our service within the 12-month period. So they have different level. So there's a gold, silver, and bronze, and then also a lifetime achievement award. And according to this, as you can see, is any unpaid acts of volunteer benefiting others. And definition of this can vary based on the each individual family. But if you volunteer within your family, whether you help out with line dance, or you helping out with dance troupe, if you helping out with teaching a class, the Phật Pháp, or helping with running the day-to-day activities of a unit, that would count as acts of volunteer service. And you can even go even broader on that, and we can talk more about that, the definition of it. But I have a website that I've sent out to each family, and it's supposed to track your hours of volunteering with each family, and those hours will be tabulated at the end of the year, and we'll add them up. We'll decide what level of award that you can get, and then Nguyen will be sending them out to each family, and the family usually have a ceremony where you pass out these achievement award. So just talk briefly about the requirements to earn. It varies with different age group. So if you 5 to 10 is different, 11 to 15 you in the teens group, 16 to 25 you in the young adults group. So it doesn't track perfectly with our classification, but the kids section can maybe apply to the Oan Vũ, the teen section can apply to the THIEN, and the young adults can apply to Oan. In fact, you can even get these awards as the adult. So Huynh trưởng can also get these if you are interested, and I would encourage you to be part of it. The number of hours, the 75 hours for kids, this is annually, and then 100 plus hours for teens, 250 plus hours for young adults, and 500 plus hours for adults for the gold section. But the bronze is a lot less. Kids, 26 hours, you can get an award, 50 for teens, 100 for young adults, and 100 for adults. So if you count, say each time that you spend, like each week that you spend at your gia đình Phật tử, and you volunteering usually through helping or through even improving yourself, that can count as if you count that as 2 hours, for example, then that's 52 weeks. So it's in a year. And let's just say that you only attend 3 weeks a month. Even that is sufficient for you to get a gold for as a teen, and maybe a bronze as a young adult. So this is something that I think would be beneficial to all of us, especially if you want to apply further, either into college or further. And if you have any question, my email, I think you all have it, and you can email me or call me, and I can go over this in more details. Thank you for the time, and I'll just stop here.
Thank you, Anh Hưng. So I like to add is that when you start a club, like a mindfulness club, all your preparation for that club would count toward this. So sometimes you're not able to go to Gia đình Phật tử, but you have a club in the university, and when you prepare for it, and you can write down your time, and it counts toward the hours for this as well. And thank you for giving us such an insight into the award, and it's very good for our resumes, both for young adults and even for các huynh trưởng. So at the end, we wanted to provide some lasting remarks, and chị Trung, she will give us the closing remarks for tonight. Please welcome chị Trung.
Yeah, xin chào các em. Hello everyone. This is a very, very interesting and enjoyable. I'm very enjoy your speaking, giving the tips, experience, advice, and about our group for gia đình Phật tử extending to college. And I hope to see your friend and your members, whatever, to join the dialogue Nguyễn với lại A Dục in 2025. We need to have more new face in our group, in our association. And it's very interesting and very good to listen. And knowing you go join the club and start a club, an opportunity to give this to a college friend and our friend. I know it's very hard work, and you are all so intelligent, and is so much promise and futures for yourself and for society and for this country. I'm very, very happy and proud of all of you. And keep working hard. And good luck with your career. And I know you will be success. Thank you to you. It is a very good program. Thank you.
Thank you, chị Trung.
Uh-huh.
And thank you so much for your wisdom. And when you start a SANGHA on campus through a club, we want to celebrate this with you. And we wish that you would have a fellowship at your school to share experience and exchange ideas, and also continue the path of enlightenment and Buddhist studies. And Gia đình Phật tử will be here to support you. Please reach out to us. Best wishes in college and school. We hope to see you at Gia đình Phật tử soon. Again, best wishes to you. And this ends our college night. And thank you for all of your